Good day, everybody. Uh, Today we are going to discuss about ISO 22000 standard, that is the Food Safety Management System standard, and that is being implemented into organizations. Those are the process organization, or catering, or retailer, or any organization dealing with the food chain from farm up to the fork. My name is Dr. Shaukat Malik, and I am the Chief Technical Advisor for UNIDO Competitiveness Project. And this is a basically project increasing Sierra Leone competitiveness through enhanced productivity and trade compliance in the selected value chains. And the selected value chains are basically uh, three selected value chain. One is the cassava, palm oil, and cocoa. And this competitiveness project has the three main pillars. One is the quality infrastructure services, value chain development for these three value chain, and enabling business atmosphere. So this project is being implemented in Sierra Leone, and it is a part of the West Africa Competitiveness Project. UNIDO is the implementing agency, and it is an EU-funded project. And as a UNIDO, we adopt the always three C's approach, basically to create the competitiveness in the country. First is to create the competitiveness, to increase the productivity, to improve the quality, and to reduce the cost of the product, is basically always boosting towards competitiveness. Once the project is competitive and once the produce is competitive produce, then it is uh, easy to connect it to the international market, provided the seed that is in the middle, that is conformity. It means that your produce or your product is conforming to the international standards, or conforming to the quality and the safety rules and regulation of the basically exporting country. Then you can basically export this to the global market. This basically presentation, I have converted this ISO 22000 food safety standard presentation into three sections, and almost in this 1 hour session, we would try to complete the entire ISO 22000 standard into three sections. One is section is about comparison of ISO 9001 2015 with the ISO 22000 2018. You know about ISO 9001 2015, and in previous weeks we have discussed and we have basically covered the ISO 9001 2015 standard into the four modules, but now we are going to discuss about 22000 2018. The skeleton of 22000 2018 is same as it is ISO 9001 2015, but it the context of the standard is with respect to food safety, while the ISO 9001 2015 context was with respect to quality. Then we will discuss about, in the section 2, we will discuss about concept with respect to class 1 to 7, 9 and 10, because only the 8 class, that is ISO 22000 2018 class number 8, that is somehow different from ISO 9001 2015 standard. Tomorrow is the 9th June, and it is a World Accreditation Day. And accreditation is basically the higher body, and this is a higher forum that is basically evaluating the accreditation. IF and ILEC is the higher forum that is basically evaluating the accreditation bodies, and accreditation bodies basically accredit the certification bodies, and certification bodies certify your organization with respect to ISO 22000 or 9000 or any international standard. This year, the theme of the accreditation is that is 9 June, and theme of accreditation is improving food safety. That is why I am going to discuss it here. And this is the slide of basically World Accreditation Forum slide. I just copied it here. And as per their research, basically, due to food safety, the productivity loss to low and medium income economies is almost 95.2 billion US dollar per year annually productivity loss. If we convert this productivity loss into amount, then it is 95.2 billion US dollar per year due to uh, basically unsafe food. This is the loss in low and medium income economies. In Asia, it is 63.1. In Africa, it is 16.7 billion US dollar annually. And the rest of the amount is in other countries. But total, it is 95.2 billion US dollar. And you can imagine this is the one factor and one criteria, that is productivity loss. If we see unsafe food impact, the impact is on the public. Again, this slide is from IEF and ILAC World Accreditation Forum. That is 9 June Accreditation Day. Okay, and this is the just I copied the slide from their presentation that is on YouTube available. I would recommend all of you to please go on this link. This is very good presentation of International Accreditation Forum, in which you will see many basically key areas that can be impacted due to unsafe food. The unsafe food can impact on the public health, on the food security, on the productivity, on increasing the poverty, and there are many other areas as well. And each year, around about 600 million people fall sick due to unsafe food. Please go on this video and you will get more and more detail about unsafe food, because this year the accreditation, World Accreditation Day uh, theme is basically the food safety. If we move further, this is section 1. And in this section 1, I did just comparison of ISO 9001 2015 with the ISO 22000 2018. Why? Because recently we have completed ISO 9001 2015 discussion and training. This ISO 22000 basically starts in 1950 with the NASA, when NASA was using the Pillsbury food, and their food was going to be deteriorating when they were going into the space. And then they created some rules and regulation to keep their food safe into the space from. And then they started focusing on this HACCP somehow simple guidelines from 1950s. And then in 1974, HACCP was a little bit introduced, and the Food and Say Drug Authority of USOA, they have adopted it. After that, Codex, they have worked on the first international definition of HACCP. HACCP is basically hazard analysis critical control point. Basically, you can say PROM, basically, that is part of this ISO 22000 2018. And in the coming slides, we will discuss. After that, in 2000, ISO started work on ISO 22000 from the 2000, and in 2005, ISO first standard ISO 22000 has been published into 2005. That is Food Safety Management System standard. And in this standard, basically, uh, they have introduced the HACCP as well. They have introduced the critical control plan. They have introduced the prerequisite plans, and we will discuss in detail. And then the latest version of ISO 22000 has been published, and this is 2018. And now the skeleton is basically aligned with ISO 9001 and 2000, ISO 22000. Their main structure of the standard or the skeleton of the standard, it is same. But definitely the ISO 9001 focuses on quality, and ISO 22000 2018 focuses on the food safety. This is the basically ISO 22000 2018 overall framework of the food safety standard, food safety management system, that is ISO 22000 2018. If you see again, it is plan, do, check, act theme, same as ISO 9001, and the class of ISO 9001 is first class 4 is context of the organization, but the context of the organization of ISO 9000 is with respect to quality management system, and here it is with respect to food safety management system. The other classes you will see, these are with the same heading, and the overall theme of these 10 classes in ISO 9000 also there are 10 classes. The name of the classes are same, and both standard, the ISO 9001 and 22000, they are following the plan to check act cycle. This is ISO 22000 2018, and it is ISO 9001 2015. Here you can see this is plan, do, check, act, and the classes in the plan, there are almost 4 classes. Here there are 4 classes. In the do, it is operation. In the do, it is operation, check, act. But this class number 8, that is with respect to operation of the ISO 22000 2018 and the operation of the quality management system, this is a big difference. In these two classes, there is a big difference. The rest of the classes are almost in the same way, but with the focus, ISO 22000 focuses on the food safety, while ISO 9000 focuses on the quality management system. This class number 8 approach and basically the subclasses, these are different both in ISO 22000 and in ISO 9001 2015. Here, if you see, this is ISO 9001 2000, ISO 9001 2015, ISO 22000. The first class is about context of the organization. Here, the first class is context of the organization, and almost you can see the subclasses are almost same. But when we reach here, I have not written here the class number 8. Okay, after the 7, this is class number 8. Detail is not written here, but this class number 8 of 22,000 and the class of number 8 of 9001, this is different. Rest of the classes are almost same. This is ISO 9001 class number 8. You can see the detail of this class, and here you can see the detail of ISO 22000 class number 8. So this is a big difference in both of the classes. And as we move forward, we will see the difference in class number 8. This is class number 8. Here you can see the approach of the entire standard, either it is 9001 or 2000, 9001 or it is ISO 22000, it is PDCA, plan, do, check, act. In the plan, these are the classes do, check, and act. This is ISO 22000 2018 standard. But in the do, the only difference here in 22000 is that in this do class, that is operation class, again the standard has applied PDCA. It means to do the operation, if you are into the factory, once this is PDCA is with respect to organizational level, it means this is your company, And this PDCA is with respect to your company, organization level. But when you are doing the production, when you are doing the operation, then to do the operation, you have to do again PDCA, Plan, Do, Check, Act, but with respect to food safety, not with respect to quality. Okay. Now, to do the food safety, what you have to do the plan, you have to plan basically uh, the hazards. You have to plan uh, the critical points. You have to do the hazard analysis. This is plan. Into the do, again it is plan, then it is do with respect to food safety. Plan with respect to food safety, into the production, into the operation, check with respect to food safety into the operation, and act with respect to food safety into the operation, or you can say the production department. So this is basically operational planning and control. So they have applied the concept of PDCA within the do. You can apply the PDCA within the check and within the act and even within the plan. But here with respect to ISO 22000, 2018, they have applied the do within the operation department. They have applied the PDCA. And what is this PRP traceability and how to do the hazard analysis and what is this HACCP and how to verify this HACCP planning and then how to implement this complete HACCP into the production process, we will discuss in the coming slide. But this do is different with respect to ISO 9001. The concept of clause number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then 9 and 10. I have not written here 8. The concept of all these clauses of ISO 22000 is same as the concept is with respect to ISO 9001. So as I briefed you in the 9001, that actual clause with respect to implementation starts from clause number 4. And here it is same. This is clause number 4, context of organization, but with respect to food safety. And there are sub-clauses. Then clause number 5 is the leadership. In ISO 9001, the clause number 5 is the leadership. And here you have to develop the policy, but it would be food safety policy. In 9001, this 5.2 is again policy, but that is a policy with respect to quality policy. Here, everything is with respect to food safety, and in ISO 9001, everything is with respect to quality. So next clause is the clause number 6. It is planning. In ISO 9001, it is same. And then if you see here, the clause number 7 is leadership. In ISO 9001, it is leadership. Okay, now you can see that if I am writing the clause number 7 with respect to ISO 22000 and writing the clause number 7 with respect to ISO 9001 and implementing it, it can be integrated together. Why? Because all the subclauses and the clauses are same, except where we have used the word of quality, we have to use both the word quality and safety. That is why I was saying in the beginning that we will implement and we can implement ISO 9001 and 22000 together, except the clause number 8. So I have jumped from clause number 7 up to clause number 9. Because clause number 8 I will discuss in the coming slide. That is the difference from ISO 9001. Clause number 9 is same. Then clause number 10 is all same. So starting from clause number 4, or you can say clause number 1 up to 10, all the clauses of ISO 22000, 2018 are same as these are with respect to ISO 9001. But the clause number 8 is different. While the ISO 22000 clauses focus is on food safety, while ISO 9001 focuses on quality. So the section 3, that is the last section, I will discuss about concept of clause number 8 of ISO 22000 2018, and this is the difficult clause into ISO 22000 with respect to training as well as with respect to implementation. This ISO 22000 2018 clause number 8 is different, and the HACCP is part of this clause number 8. That is why HACCP is basically the key of ISO 22000. If you have implemented the HACCP, it means you have implemented more than 80% of ISO 22000 into your organization. As I briefed you that basically this clause number 8 is different, and we are going to discuss now clause number 8. In the clause number 8, it is operation clause, and in this clause there are basically three main terms that will basically contribute towards HACCP plan. And one is the PRPs, other is the operational PRPs, and then it is HACCP. PRP is the basically prerequisite plans with respect to food safety. Operational PRPs, you have to, and the HACCP, you have to basically do the risk analysis based on your expertise. But this PRP, that is the prerequisite plan, this is there, and in this standard, basically for PRPs, that is prerequisite plan, these are the basic hygiene conditions and the basic food safety conditions that must be available into your organization. And here in this ISO 22000, they have basically published a separate standard with respect to different organization, with respect to this food manufacturing organization for this prerequisite PRPs. Those are the prerequisites prompts on the food safety. They have issued ISO TS 22002-1, and this is a prerequisite plan for basically the food manufacturing organization. Like if you are a production company, either you are producing the cocoa liquor, or you are producing the juice, or you are basically any manufacturing company, this is basically the PRPs. Those are available prerequisite prompts with respect to food manufacturing. You have to take care even from the start of basically establishing your company, because some things then would be difficult when you have basically established your organization to adopt it, but still it is possible. You have to do maybe some amendments in the layout or something like this. But if you are a new company and you are moving from the beginning, then you can adopt all these PRPs from the start. These are the prerequisite plans. Basically, there are around about 14, and into the 14, there are further sub available. That is why I have put it in detail, and these are total 23. These are basically 23 PRP, prerequisite prompts available while you are implementing ISO 22000, clause number 8. You have to implement PRP, you have to implement OPRP, and you have to convert, you have to implement CCP, and then you have to convert all these into the HACCP. Okay, and that is basically hazard analysis critical control plan. I will brief you one by one about what is HACCP, and at the end of this presentation, I have included one of the HACCP sheet as well. But these are the prerequisite prompts. I mean, these are the 23 checklists for your company. These are must with respect to food safety. Okay, and how much, for example, these are the cleaning and sanitation, personal hygiene, pest control, I mean, utilities, customer communication, traceability. These are around about 20. These are the 23 prerequisite, basically food safety plans. These are must to implement into your organization. Water management, how to do the water management into your organization, what personal hygiene measures you have to adopt it. Nowadays, these are very important in this COVID-19 era, how to do the pest control, foreign material, if these can enter into your production system, how you can check it, calibration of your equipment. These are the 23, and you have to basically, these 23 are basically common for all the food manufacturing organizations. They have to adopt these 23 prerequisites prompts with respect to food safety. And then basically you have to basically convert them into hazard analysis, and you have to include it into the HACCP plan, and then you have to how to verify it and how to implement and monitor it. And this is the improvement cycle. We will discuss it in detail. But if some of the basically PRPs are not implementing into your organization, they cannot create immediate impact with respect to food safety uh, on your organization. For example, toilet is a PRP. If toilet is somehow not maintained, definitely it is a food safety risk. But this risk will not impact immediate or imminent impact would not be there on your organization if it is something in the PRP that is prerequisite from, and those are 23. Their imminent failure of the PRP does not necessarily lead to an immediate and imminent food safety risk, while the critical control point, while the operational prerequisite prompts, those will include into the HACCP, they can create immediate risk and threat for your organization with respect to food safety. What is the operational PRPs are basically the basically essential critical control points that we have to do into the hazard analysis. And these, for example, here I can give you some detail. For example, this PRPs, those are the prerequisite prompts. They are normally with respect to work environment. For example, the hygiene conditions, working atmosphere, the toilet, the pest control, all these are the work environments of your organization, of your production system. And then you have to identify the hazards with respect to these PRPs as well. And the PRPs hazards would always be low or medium level hazard, while the hazards those are associated into your operational uh, plant, into your operational assemblies. Those are with respect to raw material, with respect to process. And while you will do the hazard analysis and hazard identification, and you will convert these hazards into risk, then you will see that these are basically critical. What is this HACCP? 5 primary steps are basically there to implement the HACCP plan, and there are 7 principles. There are 5 steps and the 7 principles to develop the HACCP for your organization. What are the 5 principles? Are assemble the HACCP team, hazard analysis and critical control. Basically, point stream is a must. Then you have to describe the product, that what kind of product is there, identify the use of this product, then to construct the flow diagram. Process flow diagram is a must if you are implementing or if you want to develop the HACCP, then you have to develop the process flow diagram of your project, of your basically product. And then you have to do the on-site confirmation and you have to do the verification. And these are the basically 5 primary steps to implement the HACCP plan. And these are the 7 principles how to basically implement the HACCP plan. These are 7 principles. I'm not going into detail, and this HACCP plan basically uh, started with the food safety team. And in this food safety team, how you have to develop the food safety team, maybe the one representative from the top management, one representative from the engineering and maintenance department, purchase department, QC quality control or laboratory, production or process, any food expert you can include, anybody who has the knowledge with respect to the food safety you can include. So this variety of the key people basically must be part of this HACCP team. And you call it HACCP team or you call it food safety team for HACCP, but the variety of these different disciplines are mandatory to develop the HACCP plan. Include the organization product, then you have to do the flow diagram. What are your product? What is the raw material? Flow diagram with respect to CPOC. We have discussed in ISO 9001 supplier input process output customer. Okay, and then you have to basically check each hazard available. What of the hazard is with respect to raw material, what are with respect to input material, what is with respect to process. We will discuss in the coming slide this thing. Uh, this is basically the raw material. The raw material, you must know what kind of raw material you are using into your organization. For example, if you are a fruit juice company, then you must know that maybe your process flow diagram starts from the fruit and you are basically starting from the raw fruit, then you are squeezing the raw fruit and then you are producing the concentrate and then you are basically adding the water, and maybe you are starting from the concentrate and then you are going up to the bottle and capping the bottle. But anything that you are using into your basically final product, all the raw material you must know and what are the characteristics of those raw material, because what are the ingredients you are using across the assembly line starting from CPOC. Okay, I mean supplier input, process output customer. Then you can analyze what kind of critical control points are there with respect to food safety. What are the, in ISO 9001, we have discussed the hazards, and in class number 6.3, I think we have discussed the risk, hazards and risk, but those are hazards and risk, and the risk analysis was with respect to quality. But here, these hazards and risk analysis are with respect to food safety. Here, the hazards with respect to food safety normally are 5 types hazards. Either these are physical hazards, chemical, radiation, allergen, biological. Okay, and you have to check all these 5 type of hazards at the raw material, in the ingredients, then into the product where product is becoming, then into the process. I mean, you have to check the physical hazard into the raw material, chemical hazard in the raw material, radiation, allergen, biological. And some of the maybe maybe these hazards would not be applicable, then you can say that, okay, this is not applicable at this stage. For the HACCP, as I told you, the process flow diagram is mandatory, because without process flow diagram, you cannot check the hazards and the risk at each stage. This just I taken from the Google. I just to give you the example of this process flow diagram of HACCP for a juice company. This is a fruit receiving. On the fruit receiving, they have to inspect the sample and test the sample, and they have to inspect what kind of fruits are coming. But they have to basically analyze what kind of hazards are here. Okay, for example, hazards with respect to physical, maybe some raw material has been added into some fruit. Okay, maybe some stone is there among different oranges, some mud is there. So that is basically the physical hazard. Chemicals are not used in the fruit as the raw material. Maybe the pesticide has been used into the origins on the oranges, but then you have to check it by doing the sampling and then doing the inspection with respect to pesticide analysis. I mean, then you have to wash these oranges and then you have to peel the oranges, then you have to convert the oranges into the pulp and then you have to enzyme it, then you have to press it, finish the strain, sediment, and this is the process, and then you have to cap the bottles, fill in the bottles, cap the bottles, and store it. So what kind of basically out of those five type of hazards, physical, chemical, biological, what kinds of hazards are there into the store? What kind of hazards are there in process? What kind of hazards are there in this extraction? So at all stage, you will develop the HACCP sheet, and then you have to start include basically all kind of applicable hazards into it. And what is hazard? Hazard is anything that has the potential to harm. Still, it is not risk. And when you convert the hazards with respect to severity and probability, and you give the weightage to the hazard with respect to severity and probability, it becomes risk. And this thing we have discussed into class number 6.3 of ISO 9001 2015. And this is the same table. I taken it from ISO 9001 2015. I mean, you have to write each type of hazard and then you have to number it with respect to severity and with respect to probability, and then you have to calculate what is the weightage at each level. Okay, you will find that maybe this is the consequence and this is the likelihood, mean this is the probability and this is the severity. Probability is low, then medium, then it will be high here, and the consequences are high here. But here it is 1 into 2, 2. Here it is 2 into 2. Here it is 3 into 2. So maximum risk is basically 25, and the HACCP team, the food safety team, will decide that the number starting from 20 to 25, these are the high risk, or these are the basically, uh, and the number, those are 12 to 16, these are the medium risk. But the HACCP team should decide, maybe 10 to 16 is the medium risk. That is why we developed the HACCP team, because they have the expertise with respect to your organization point of view, and then they can decide. And then you have to basically, this is just a likelihood, and this is again a numbering system I have shown you with respect to probability and with respect to severity. And here, if you see, this is one of the diagram. We have implemented this HACCP plan in one organization. That was HACCP plan for malt, and what kind of hazards were there, how to control it. I mean, this complete sheet. When we will implement this, then who will be responsible? If it is high level risk, how you have to convert this high level risk into low level risk, and who is responsible, and how you will keep on monitoring this thing, everything would be decided there. And this is called basically the HACCP register or the HACCP sheet. So thank you very much. This is all about, I briefed you about clause number 1, to clause number 10. Those are same as these are in ISO 9001 2015, except the clause number 8, that is different. And in clause number 8, there are two things very important. The PRPs. For PRPs, the separate standard is there, ISO 22002, ISO 22002 is there, and there are 23 PRPs, prerequisite plan. These you can see it and you can note it from there. I have given it in my slides. And after the PRPs and the clause number 8, the next thing is the HACCP. And for HACCP, you have to develop the food safety team, and then they have to basically identify the hazards available on the process flow diagram on the CPUC entire cycle, and then convert the hazard into risk by assigning the severity and probability, and then taking the control measures, how to control it. This is called HACCP plan. And in clause number 8, these two things are very important, PRPs and the HACCP. This is the only different. And I think just we have completed the overview of this ISO 22000 2018 standard, food safety standard. And when we will implement the standard, you will learn step by step in detail. But this is just an overview in this one modules. I think around about within this 1 hour we have finished it. This is our project, basically Twitter account. This is my Twitter account, Dr. Shaukat Malik, SLCOMPET, our West Africa competitiveness project Sierra Leone Twitter account, and this is Facebook account. I would request all of you to please keep follow up on this Twitter and Facebook. You will find many activities. Those are coming in the coming future. Thank you very much.